So, what if you could target the core pathways of aging with a really precise science backed supplement stack? Today, we're going to break down a protocol that's, well, it's not for beginners. This is for those of you who are truly serious about longevity. Let's dig into how it's all designed to work.
Okay, now that's a promise that gets your attention, right? We're not talking about some vague hope for the far off future. We're talking about real, tangible benefits sustained energy, sharper thinking, better recovery that you could actually start to feel in just over a month. So, what in the world is behind a claim like that?
So, how does it pull that off? Well, it all comes down to the building blocks. This whole protocol is built around 7 key ingredients. Think of them like different sections of a biological orchestra, each playing a critical part. Let's go ahead and meet the players. All right, here's the lineup. You've got mitochondrial enhancers like PQQ, CoQ10, and MitoQ. Foundational blends like NovoScore and Boost. Cellular cleanup specialists like spermidine and urolithin A. And then a super important supporting molecule, TMG. Now, you might have heard of some of these on their own, but the real magic here, it's all in how they're meant to work together. And that right there brings us to the most important concept of this whole thing, synergy. This is not just a random handful of popular supplements thrown together. The entire philosophy is built around how these specific ingredients can actually amplify each other's effects, creating a result that's way more powerful than the sum of its parts. Let's see how that actually plays out. Okay, here's where we can really see that synergy in action. So to create fresh, healthy mitochondria, that process is called mitochondrial biogenesis. The protocol combines PQQ, MitoQ, and urolithin A. Then, to fire up your NAD plus and overall energy production, it pairs NMN from the Boost formula with MitoQ. And for that absolutely critical process of cellular cleanup or autophagy, it brings in a team of spermidine, urolithin A, and fisetin to clear out the old, junked-up cells. It's really like a multi-pronged attack on aging. And the strategy doesn't stop there. To go after epigenetic aging, which you can think of as changes to how your genes get expressed over time, it uses key ingredients from NovoScore. And this next part is really clever. Since taking NMN can drain your body's supply of something called methyl groups, it adds a solid dose of TMG to keep everything in perfect balance. Finally, you get this powerful antioxidant shield from a trio of NAC, glutathione, and CoQ10. You can really see how every single component has a purpose and a partner.
All right, so that's the what and the why. But what does this actually look like in real life, day to day? Let's switch gears from the science to the schedule and see how it all comes together. The daily routine is pretty much broken down into 4 key moments. It all kicks off at 7 a.m. on an empty stomach. That's when you'll take MitoQ, Novo's Boost, and the PQQ blend to get maximum absorption. Then an hour later with breakfast, it's time for Novo's Core and the first half of your TMG. At lunch, urolithin A and spermidine join the party. And because urolithin A is fat-soluble, taking it with food is absolutely key. The day then wraps up at dinner with that second dose of TMG. It's definitely disciplined, but it's a very clear, easy-to-follow routine. Of course, a protocol this comprehensive comes with some pretty practical considerations, so let's talk about 2 of the most important ones, the price tag and how to approach this safely. So, what kind of investment are we looking at for a 30-day supply? Well, the prices for each part vary a lot. On one end, you've got TMG powder for around $15, but on the other hand, urolithin A comes in at nearly $100. And as you can see, the Novos products and MitoQ also make up a pretty big chunk of that total cost.
And when you add it all up, the grand total comes to approximately $378 a month. So yeah, it's certainly a significant investment in your health.
But let's reframe that for a second. Broken down daily, it comes out to about $12.60. You know, for a lot of people, that's the cost of a fancy coffee or lunch out. In this case, it's being put toward a very targeted long-term health strategy. It's all about perspective. Now, with any protocol this powerful, safety is absolutely paramount. And the approach here is built on 3 pretty simple rules. First, start slow. Use half doses for the first week, just to see how your body responds. Second, think about cycling. Taking a week off each month can actually be beneficial. And third, if you really want to be data-driven, you have the option to monitor your progress with blood work, keeping an eye on key markers like homocysteine and NAD+ levels. And there's one final lifestyle tip that I think really shows how this strategy goes way beyond just taking pills. To get the absolute most out of that cellular cleanup effect from ingredients like spermidine, the advice is to avoid alcohol a few days a week. This just gives your body's autophagy process the best possible chance to do its job.
So when you put it all together, the synergistic ingredients, the precise timing, the safety guidelines, you end up with this highly structured, science-informed protocol. It's a really fascinating look at the cutting edge of personal health, and it leaves us with a pretty big question. Is this kind of targeted, multifaceted approach the future of how we all manage our own long-term health?